So about 3 years ago, started MadHive with my friend and colleague, Tom Bollock. And the idea was that as TV's moving digital, would TV buying also go digital? And our idea was that probably not. The TV's bought in a very specific manner, and that the movement of it into digital channels would be really, really hard. And the capture of all the inventory by the big digital giants, Facebook, Google, whatnot, wasn't really in the best interest of the supply side, the way it was in digital, because those companies are much larger. And so we saw an idea for a clean tech stack that would allow that change from linear to digital channels where consumers are going, but for media to still be traded like linear, but with digital features.
So what have you guys brought to the marketplace, and where does it stand?
Well, we started our early work with Premion and Tegna. They were our first customer and client by building dashboards that were transparent for their clients, that would show their customers exactly what transpired in a reach extension media buy. And so the business really got started working with Tegna and their sales force and building what is now a pretty big industry. But a couple of years ago, it was just getting started, and people weren't really sure if this would all move to digital or not. And so now it's a full-fledged DSP reporting solution with a data layer in it. Behind the scenes, everyone has a different tech stack, right? And I've been involved in the blockchain cryptocurrency space, since the early days, and saw early on that the idea of peer-to-peer value transfer, would be a significant innovator in software development in every industry. And so we're really, really early in that. And the idea of a really complex, murky supply chain like ad tech, it seemed like a really good idea to bring this technology to it. It's very early days. Blockchain is cryptography. It's 3 or 4 pieces of cryptography kind of all mixed together in a really innovative way. And what Bitcoin gives us is the ability to move money around and add a bunch of more cryptography and switch things around, and you can start having ad tech. And our goal is to create a transparent ecosystem where basically math and physics proves what happened rather than having attestation from third parties. And with that, we can return digital to a linear-like ecosystem where the way that advertiser wants to advertise and the seller creates a contract, and you have measurement that proved it aired, and that's it. And the digital supply chain is much more complex, as we know, and that the media companies can't really afford to let 70% of every dollar go to intermediaries. That's our point of view. So that can we develop SaaS software that allows media trading to happen as TV moves digital. Blockchain is a technology foundational layer. It's like saying blockchain is like saying the word transistor, right? And so transistors make clocks, they make iPhones, they make computers, they make everything we have. And so blockchains can be used in engineering design patterns to do lots of other things. And so the way we see it is that the major problems in ad tech that we hear about, and there's a lot of solutions around, a lot of time and energy gets spent on, is fraud. Did I really get what I paid for? How much is the arbitrage? How much traffic am I buying from SSPs in an aggregator versus the SSP of record? Those things are really, really hard to understand and know. And as a buyer, I wind up spending a lot of my energy on what should be table stakes, where I should start innovating on what can digital really do for me, which is on measurement, attribution, and re-optimization, better calibration, things like that. And so we use blockchain and cryptography to create a base layer to allow those types of product features to kind of rise up.
In the OTT world, which seems to be cleaner perhaps than the digital world, where do you guys fit in?
It's cleaner in the premium space for sure, because there's just less publishers. I can't just start an app like in digital, create ad inventory, and now and you don't really know where that comes from. There's only a handful of premium publishers. So from that point of view, it is much cleaner. There's still the idea in the existing supply chain that is there fraud in the ecosystem? Is there someone injecting fake supply in? Is there device fraud? Is there arbitrage from aggregators happening? There's still a lot of things happening in the ecosystem because the CPMs are pretty high. That if I'm a fraudster and I can get a pretty good margin there on changing, let's say, desktop traffic into CTV traffic, we can keep the supply the same and don't tell the publisher I did that and I'm just editing the bid stream. Weird things can happen. So a lot of our technology is about maintaining the authenticity from the supply side through the existing murky supply chain.
So Adam, where do you see the business going in the next year, and what do you hope the impact will be on the industry?
Over the next year, I think there's going to be, right now we're just on the supply side. We're seeing all this stuff happen with rights being moved around between the different OTTs. We see basically all the local the Sinclairs of the world and the Tegnas of the world all buying up different television stations. The playing field is evolving, and consumers are moving to digital channels. And so, what we see happening is that basically buying will have to move digital, and that solutions like MadHive will need to exist for existing television buyers to continue doing business the way they are as linear dwindles, and before ATSC3 really comes online in a couple of years. Is that how do the existing agencies and buying groups continue to do business and sell brand-based campaigns with a outcome-based measurement?